Requiescat in pace to my free time because this one took a lot of it, and I'm gonna be honest, I think it's my best one yet. Welcome to D&D Lantern, where I shine light on things to help make you a better DM. In this video, I will go over how I turned Van Helsing into a playable D&D quest. As I mentioned, this one took a lot of effort to convert, but I am very happy with the result. It's 8 pages in total, and it's the biggest one I did yet. Van Helsing is an action-adventure movie that has traits of a D&D campaign. Gabriel Van Helsing travels to Romania to fight Dracula and help the Valerian family find closure. You have vampires, werewolves, and the Frankenstein monster. It just screams D&D. So I turned it into a playable quest, and I'm calling it The quest begins with the players in a tavern or local inn during a night of a heavy storm. There is thunder outside, and the players are having their meal or enjoying a quiet evening, and a man working for Aldrich Vane, the leader of a monster hunter guild, introduces himself and asks for the players' assistance in an urgent matter. Should they accept, they will travel to a cathedral and meet with Aldrich Vane. Act 1, the Capture of Hyde. Just like the movie starts with the Capture of Hyde to establish characters and vibe, Act 1 is to introduce the characters to the Order of the Lantern, a guild of monster hunters tasked with killing nocturnal monsters and locking away forbidden relics. The players meet Aldrich Vane, who asks them to find a missing alchemist by the name of Dr. Edward Morin, or the beast he turns himself into, Hyde. Hyde is connected to the disappearance of a Dr. Attila Franken, who sought to create a means to give life to what is dead with the help of a mystical stone. The player's mission: track down Hyde, capture or kill him, and bring everything he has on him to the Order. They travel into a rainy city where they encounter Hyde. Here are his stats. After defeating him, Hyde, or Dr. Edward Morin, reveals the name of a village and is in the possession of a medal bearing the mark of Octavius, the ruler of a region in the north. A series of different checks give the players additional information about where they are heading, who they are dealing with, and what the stone might be. I also have included options for personal tie-ins to the story. But for now, the road heads north. Act 2, Shadow's End. Like in the movie, the players head to and arrive at the remote, fog-filled village of Shadow's End and greet the local people, one of which is the local priest called Father Lucian and his daughter Lucy. The priest does not exist in the movie, so I modeled him after Luna Lovegood's father from Harry Potter, as well as one of the funniest characters, I think, in the entire movie, the Undertaker. However, the introductions are interrupted, as during this first meeting, the village is being attacked by vampires. More specifically, 3 vampire spawns. Here are their stats. And the attack is being led by one of Octavius's vampire brides, Morgan, the Mistress of Blades. Here are her stats. They don't just attack the players, but also the villagers and the livestock. Insert flying cow. Morgan will flee should she get too low. The spawns, however, fight to the death, unable to control their thirst in the face of danger. After the raid, the players are told by Father Lucian that the vampires are looking for something specific known as the Franken Stone, a relic able to breathe life into what death rejected. If the players ask around and do a little bit of research at the library, they will find hints that lead to Dr. Attila Franken, whose estate higher up the mountains was burned down a couple weeks ago. Act 3, the Franken Stone. At the Franken estate, the players find everything burned to a crisp, a blackened ruin on a cliffside overlooking the valley. They can carefully comb through the structure in order to find hints of the Franken Stone or the Franken Stone itself, while navigating and succeeding on 5 different checks before 3 failures. Each failure brings a hazard, so think of it as a collapsing beam or skeletons awakened by the stone's presence. But if 5 checks are successful, then they will find a secret passageway leading down to the laboratory. In there, they will see a crystalline green heart, the Franken Stone. I decided to change it from being a creature into a relic in order to reduce the autonomy of the MacGuffin and prevent it from running away on its own. And also because the players keep a splinter of the relic as a reward at the end of the quest. Some skill checks will reveal that removing the stone from the containment shield is possible, but risky. And if the players do, then the low hum of the stone turns into a loud shriek and a wave of necrotic energy bursts from it. It doesn't harm anyone, but it alerts everything that is undead. The players hear screeches in the far-off distance, and the laboratory starts collapsing. As they reach the surface, they can see Lucy in a carriage racing towards them, yelling at them to get in. The chase is on as Lucy drives the carriage with the players and the stone down the mountain as they are chased by vampire spawns led by a different bride of Octavius, Valeria, Mistress of Thorns. Here are her stats. The players go through some checks to make sure that the carriage reaches holy ground. They can fight off the vampires, they can stabilize the carriage, they can spot hazards in the way and try to avoid them. When reaching holy ground, the carriage crashes, however, and Lucy gets taken by Valeria to Castle Blackvale in the distance. Now, this isn't the castle of Octavius, but that of another ruler, Lord Blackvale, who is hosting a masquerade ball. Father Lucian, who was at the location where the players were headed, holy ground, takes care of the Franken Stone while the players head to the castle. Act 4, the Masquarade of Shadows. Set in Castle Blackvale, the masquerade is attended by nobles, by merchants, and monsters in disguise. I avoided it being 100% vampires in attendance like in the movie because I think this way it opens a lot more options to do some sneaky sneaks as a party. The goal is to sneak into the ball and save Lucy, and to get there, they need to gain access to the property. Sneaking in, persuading themselves in, stealing invitations are all viable options. Once in the castle, they can find Lucy on the upper floors in a locked room by spending some time in the castle and looking for clues. On a side note, this is where you can have your players socialize a little bit with the local nobility. After finding her and freeing her, Lucy mentions overhearing Morgan, the vampire bride, mention the need of a holy man to bless the ritual. The group on their way out gets ambushed by Octavius, his 3 brides, and his entourage on the stairs. I've inserted a minor villain monologue here, so go nuts with that. At the end of his monologue, he reveals his hostage, Father Lucian, who brought the stone to him in exchange for the life of his daughter. Octavius promises her freedom, but not his, as Morgan, Mistress of Blades, makes good use of her title and opens Father Lucian's throat with a rapier, covering the entire group with crimson. Panic erupts as the guests scatter. The vampires flee to the balcony with the stone, setting fire to the castle while doing it. It is pure chaos, and the players must escape the burning building to safety. For Lucy and for the players, the time for mourning will come, but for now, the clock is ticking. Act 5, the Heart of Shadows. The players are taking the fight to Castle Octavia, a Gothic fortress in the mountains. They have to infiltrate the stronghold unseen, destroy the Franken Stone before it is used for whatever Octavius is planning, and kill every single vampire in the castle. They have a few entry options available, with some complications should they fail their ability checks, and sneak through the Hall of the Dead, reaching the Great Hall. There, they encounter vampire spawns if you have more than 4 players, but also the 3 brides, Morgan, Mistress of Blades, Valeria, Mistress of Thorns, and Lilith, Mistress of Shadows. Here are her stats. Octavius is of course also there, preparing the ritual. Here are his stats. I have divided the battle into 3 phases. In phase 1, all vampires fight together. The brides focus more on the crowd control aspect of the fight, and Octavius is the one who is actually going in and trying to do damage. Both the vampires and the players can use things in the environment for their advantage. Phase 2 starts when Octavius falls below half HP. He then tries to flee to the ritual chamber. Once he reaches, the doors open and the ritual starts. Phase 3 consists of 10 rounds, during which the players have options to slow the progress of the ritual or attempt to destroy the stone, while being attacked by Octavius and the 3 brides. Should they stop the ritual, the stone shatters and the necrotic energy causes the vampires to turn to dust and the castle will start to collapse, in which case they will have to flee. But if they don't win, they now have a problem. A big undead problem, as the stone's power gives birth to the newborn abomination, a monstrous, vampiric, Frankenstein, juggernaut motherfucker of necrotic rage. Here are its stats. At this point, the castle will start to collapse as the stone in the chest of the creature pulses. The players have to flee with the creature hot on their heels. Defeating it shatters the stone into shards. Running from it and reaching sunlight kills the creature and shatters the stone as well. If they manage to get out, Lucy greets them and thanks them. It is now a new dawn over the valley, a new beginning. As a reward, the players receive the holy symbol that belonged to Lucy's father, Lucian, as well as good standing with the Monster Hunter Order and the ability to get future contracts from them. If they want to look through the rubble, they will find a shard of the Franken Stone. Though shattered, it is still magic. In the rubble, they also find a handful of things that can earn them some cash if they decide to sell it. A dark tome entitled How I Did It by Dr. Attila Franken, 2 to 3 useful magic relics, as well as another tome entitled Imhotep and the City of the Dead, a possible future quest line that I will get to later in the Questcraft series. But that is the conclusion of the Crimson Shadow, and your players have now played Van Helsing. I hope you like it. As always, the PDF for the adventure will be available on Patreon in case you want to download it. The link is somewhere down there. Other than that, like the video if you like the video, subscribe if you want to see more, check out the Patreon, and I'll see you next time.